Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Johnny Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO. Today, we're going to be talking about DataSelf Analytics year-end. We're going to be pretty much covering our solution for different ERP and CRM systems. Quick introduction. I've been in the BI for the mid-market for about 20 years, and as part of DataSelf for, for almost 15 years. And I'm super excited because finally in the mid-market, analytics and BI is becoming a big thing. A lot of decision makers, they have been eager to get the data out of their systems. The data is right there. It's in their systems, but people complain. Many people have pains that it's hard to get it out. Usually they have to call consultants, they have to wait. And nowadays, waiting for information or winging it, without information to make decisions is no longer productive. So at the end of the day, what DataSelf really have been focusing on for 15 years is to empower decision makers to make timely and informed decisions. And we empower the IT people, the consultants, to quickly and easily maintain the platform, make it easy, make it faster, set up security. So when decision makers need to find their data anytime, anywhere, in mobile devices, in computers, web browsers, if they're using Windows or Mac, no matter what, they should be able to find the information, make more informed decisions, make their clients happier, be more productive, be more profitable, and move forward. So that's the focus of DataSelf, helping the decision makers and also helping people supporting decision makers to make reporting and dashboard easy. This is the architecture of how DataSelf works. On the far left, we have data sources. And if you're using any of these data sources, these ERP and CRM systems, the good news is pretty much we can get DataSelf up and running with lots of reports very, very quickly, sometimes even in a matter of hours. But DataSelf is a system designed to pull data from any data source. So as a starting point, it's easy and fast to get your ERP and CRM data through DataSelf. But if you have other ERPs, other CRM systems, other databases, if you want to bring Google Analytics data, social media, no matter what, this is an enterprise platform that can combine your data together. This is the main components that we do. We have a cloud system. We also have on-premises that at the end of the day provides easy reporting for management. For the ERP and the CRM together, out of the box, we have thousands of reporting dashboards that can go live pretty much on day one. And for the data geeks out there, the technology we use is listed here: infrastructure, data warehousing, and analytics platform. But at the end of the day, is to empower decision makers with easy reporting and analytics, in having a rich set of reports and dashboards covering financials, receivables, payables, sales, inventory, purchasing, services, CRM. Having a starting point with a lot of reports is one of our main focus. Day one, you got a lot of reports. We train you, we help you customize so you can become self-sufficient anytime, anywhere to get answers to your questions. Today, I'm going to be focusing on three main use cases that people, when they start with DataSelf, usually these three use cases are very popular. Is showing information for C-level people, company owners, CFO, COOs. Also showing how salespeople take advantage of DataSelf, and also how the accounting people take advantage of DataSelf. This is what I'm going to be covering today, even though DataSelf covers pretty much the whole organization, all data silos. We can cover anything. Also, in my presentation, we have two main versions of DataSelf. We have the DataSelf Enterprise, which is a solution we've been supporting for 15 years. And we just launched DataSelf Lite. So far, we only launched to the Acumatica market, but we're going to be rolling out into the other markets very quickly, Sage, Dynamics, and whatnot. So I'm going to cover a little bit of both, and I'm going to show the benefits of both and how they can play out into your BI strategy. So let's take a look at the product. So right now, I'm going to log into DataSelf using a web browser. In this example, I'm just logging into the cloud DataSelf portal. If you do use web-based applications like Salesforce.com or Acumatica, something of that nature, these dashboards can be easily embedded into your web framework. It is very easy to do that. But right now, I'm just going to be logging outside of the framework, just as the portal. And when I log to the system usually, the system checks my credentials. It will provide me with a landing page of my choice. In this example, I'm playing the scenario of being, let's say, the CEO of the company or the CFO, a person who wants to see data across many data silos. In this example is a 360-degree view of the business, showing cash flow projection, orders to ship, opportunities coming from CRM, like Salesforce.com or Sage CRM, Dynamics CRM, Acumatica CRM, doesn't matter. It's just a CRM information in the dashboard, receivables, revenues, Google Analytics data. It's a different data source. It's your data source, no problem. We bring to the dashboard. And some financial metrics, typically coming from the ERP, sometimes coming from also some Excel files, like budget information, things of that nature. Many people maintain that information in Excel. Absolutely, we can bring Excel. We can bring any data source into the framework. So when a person, like a C-level person, goes to DataSelf or to the portal and they see the dashboard, typically they want to see high-level information. Like in this example, this is a little bit of a busy dashboard with a lot of information. Some people find it too busy. Some people want even busier. The point is, this is highly customizable. We'll show later how easy it is to customize a solution. But it's highly customizable, and typically dashboards for C-level people are usually custom made. One dashboard for the CEO, one dashboard for the CFO, one dashboard for the COO, or several dashboards, but highly customized. So when one of these people, they look at their dashboard early in the morning, maybe on the mobile device, if everything is okay, great, they go about their day. But if something is too good or too bad, they typically want to drill down to see more information and take an action. In this example, I have some red bars. The red bars show something is not good. In this example, my inventory assets is above the maximum on hand. What about it? So if the person clicks on the red bar, the dashboard will automatically go into a different tab, in this case, the inventory tab. I was originally on the main tab, the overview tab. When they click on that bar, it went to the inventory tab automatically. And this is, again, a customized subsection of the dashboard. In this example, is showing inventory details, in particularly my top 10 products by cost on hand today. And if it's a red box, it means that particular item is I have too many on hand. So these are my top 10 products, and some of them are red. And now I have the aha moment. Aha, in my West warehouse, I have too many red boxes. Why? Right? And maybe now, as a decision maker, maybe I want to drill down further, or maybe I want to call or email the person responsible for this warehouse and ask, what the heck? In real case, when you have to contact someone, sometimes you got to find the person's phone number, the person's name, the email address, and whatnot. And sometimes when you're trying to find the information, you get distracted. You get another call, another email, and then you don't do it. And it's a missed opportunity to work on the problem. In DataSelf, we can create actions to shortcut the time from aha to an action. Like for instance, if I click the West label, it will allow me to call or email the person right from the dashboard. And if I were to be doing this from a mobile device, so this is the same dashboard, but showing a mobile device, and I click the label, it allows me to choose call or email. I click call, and I place a call. So right from the mobile device, in a few clicks, you're talking with the right person and hopefully helping tackle that problem. Let me show another example that is very popular among our clients. Suppose I want to see in more detail cash flow. So when I click the cash flow widget in the main dashboard, it goes to the subsection, show me a bigger view of the cash flow and anything else that I want to see. In this case, I'm seeing for the next 60 days receivables, payables, payroll, money in the bank today. And when I add all of these ups and downs of my cash flow, I get the actual projection. And as long as the most negative amount doesn't cross a line of credit, I do not have a cash flow issue. Some people love charts and they love to see this analysis, but some people like to see the numbers, you know, with the invoice number, who the vendor is, the customer, all the details by the dates, and the amounts and the projected amount. And in this example, I have this red amount, meaning when I put the mouse over, it tells that this invoice is being disputed. The customer may not pay it. How is this flagged? Well, somewhere in the invoice, in the ERP system, you have to have a checkbox or some kind of notification to tell this invoice is being disputed. And with that information, we can show in this report for anyone that it's a red flag. Should you pay attention to this? As a C-level person, you know, maybe I don't care because I only deal with big problems. But will this cause me a cash flow issue? Do I need to get involved? Well, the tool also provides ways to do what-if scenario. So if I click on this particular payment and I say exclude, what happens if this payment doesn't come? Let me exclude it. In this example, if that payment doesn't come, I'm going to cross my line of credit. I'm going to have probably headaches. So perhaps this is a problem that I need to get involved. Maybe I need to call the account manager. Maybe I need to call someone, or maybe I want to call the customer. And again, if I put the mouse over this transaction, I see the customer name, the amount, the document, the person's, the contact information, the phone number. I can even click and call and open the invoice. If you're using a system that we can have an address to open this invoice, you click open document, the document opens, and then you click call Joe Doe, and you talk with Joe Doe in no time. Again, making it easy for decision makers to have an aha moment by slicing and dicing their data, seeing the data visually in charts and in grids, and take an action is something that we really focus on empowering our clients. So this is one example of a classical or typical 360-degree view for C-level people. But the concept of the 360 view applies to everyone in the organization. Let's say if you're a salesperson, you have probably data in your ERP system. You're looking at sales, looking at sales order, you're looking at receivables. You might be looking at CRM. You may have many data points with your customers, and you want to have that look inside of a dashboard like this. And that's what I'm going to show you very shortly. First of all, this dashboard here, the 360-degree view for the C-level that has data coming from all over the place, is something that the DataSelf Enterprise can easily tackle. As I was talking before, DataSelf Enterprise uses a full-fledged data warehouse and can bring data from any of your data silos: ERP, CRM, Excel, POS system, payroll. No matter what the data is, we can bring it together to show in a dashboard like this. I also mentioned we have DataSelf Lite. DataSelf Lite is more limited. Typically, you can only bring data from one data source, like your ERP system. Let me show an example of how the Lite works for the 360-degree view from the ERP system. So now I'm switching to the, just reloaded, to the DataSelf Lite and looking at the 360-degree view dashboard. So it has less data sources. Data sources still is pretty interactive. I also have a cash flow projection. I have receivables. I have open sales orders, and I have sales. So currently, Lite only covers AR aging, AP aging, cash flow projection, sales, and open sales orders. We are in the process of building more connectors, and the idea is by the end of 2020, we're going to cover pretty much all connectors like in enterprise for a single data source, like one ERP system, and allow you to do a lot of customizations. But anyhow, here on the Lite version, I also can heavily interact with these dashboards. Let's say, hey, cash flow projection. What if I want to analyze it? You just click on cash flow projection. Just like with the enterprise, this will go to a bigger view of cash flow projection. I see all the details and I can interact with it. Or let's say, if I look at my receivables, right? Right now I see this is on time, almost $4 million. The yellow box is for aging 1 to 30 days. There is $728,000 in slightly late invoices, and I have more colors here for even older due date. And I have the same information by customer. And I can see that one of my top customers by aging has a lot of old invoices. Is that a problem? Well, let's check it out. I'm gonna just click on this customer. And what happens is the whole dashboard will change to show how this customer is affecting my cash flow, my open sales orders, and my actual sales. So I do have an order from this customer today to go out. But if they have late invoices, will this sales order go out? Maybe not. As you know, if I'm a salesperson, and this particular view is also available for salespeople, as a salesperson, if I see this, I might want to call the customer and check, why is the are the invoices, late? Maybe they already mailed the check, just got the check number so you can unlock in your ERP, and then be sure that the order goes out today. You don't want to wait tomorrow in a few days for the client to ask, have you shipped the order? Then you realize something was wrong, the order never shipped, and then the client is unhappy. So being able to click on data points and easily slice and dice your data is something very critical, and it's something that is available across all dashboards in DataSelf. Let's say, hey, what if I want to see my top 3 customers by open sales order? What's going on? When I click on them, I can see what's being sold to them in the prior period, also what is in aging, and make further analysis. This 360 view dashboard also has ways to look at, sales year over year. It has ways to look at, AR aging and AP aging. Let's talk about AR aging, because for many organizations, aging receivables, it's a big problem. And it's usually hard to look at, where you should be focusing your attention on. So this AR aging has a total balance in AR aging, and then by AR aging bucket. In all of these colors that are also here on the legend, you can see where the money is coming from a geography standpoint. You want to see by due date. You can see by salesperson, document numbers, customer information, and all the details. And then if you want to say, hey, I want to see, let's say, what's going on with my very low old aging, I can just select the old aging, and right off the bat, the whole dashboard will change to show only, AR aging that is older than 31 days. Where the money coming from, salespeople, associated customers, and the details. Or maybe I want to see, money coming in the very short term, where it's coming from. I just select them. Or let's just choose the slightly late invoices. Typically, slightly late invoices, they're coming. Sometimes it's just a call away. Sometimes they're just in the mail. They're about to arrive or on ACH processing. And when I look at this, wow, there's a big payment here about 15 days late. What's going on with this payment? I can select the bar, and then it shows me specifically There are a few salespeople, a few customers, and actually there's one customer that represents most of this payment. When I click on the customer, I can see all the details associated. There's only one invoice with the due date on this date that is past due. And maybe now I can call the customer and see if I can unlock or see what's going on with the payment. But the ability to allow business people, anyone, to point and click and figure out these trends is something very empowering, and it was what we're focusing on with DataSelf. And by the way, I'm showing this on a web browser. How do these dashboards look on a mobile device? You can simulate. I can click here, view device layouts, and now I'm showing this dashboard on a smartphone. And I have exactly the same view. Now you just scroll vertically on your smartphone, and it's interactive. You know, if you come and you click in these data points, it will interact just the same way that I did on the web browser. It's really cool and really empowering. All right, so this is just an example of how the 360-degree view dashboard works in the Lite framework. And again, it's designed for C-level people. They have a perspective into this overall sales, cash flow, AR aging, and AP aging. Now, let me show how a salesperson dashboard looks like in DataSelf Lite. So some of the salesperson dashboard looks similar to the 360-degree view. So I can see a landing page for the salesperson. So typically, as a salesperson, when I log into the system, it will only show my own sales. So if you are, let's say, VP of sales, you see sales across all territories. But if you're only the account manager for, let's say, California, the system can be configured to only show this person's sales only in California. So it's user sensitive. Then I can see open sales amounts. I can see actual sales. Then I can see receivables all together. And let's say right now, my goal for this month is $3.5 million. I'm slightly below. Let's say that the goal was $3 million instead. Then I'll be above the goal, and my sales bars go into a blue color. Or if it was 5 million goals and I'm way below, then you go into a kind of red color. So it's a way to put colors to visually represent how far off are you from the goal and help salespeople be targeted and be focused on always meet the goal. And again, highly interactive. Again, if you come here and you choose my top customers, it will automatically filter the whole dashboard to show if they have any open sales orders for, to be shipped, where the money is going or coming from a geography standpoint, and if we have any receivables. So high-level perspective across these different data points. Typically, salespeople also can do a lot of analytics around this in last year transactions. Is it growing? Is it declining? Year over year, in this quarter, last period, whatever it is. In this sales year over year tab, it has been designed to allow salespeople to quickly and easily slice and dice their data for this and last period transactions. So right now, I'm looking this year, prior year, variance and percentage. And right now, I'm looking the sales through the period 9. Let's say, let's go to the period 10, which in my sample database is the current period. So when I press period 10, now I'm going to add another column here. And right now, I think in my sample database, I'm October the 18th. So the dark blue, which is this year, is still pretty low comparing to last year's same period. It's because I'm through the 18th only. Now, when I'm analyzing these things, let's say, hey, I want to see how I did in the third quarter this year. I can just uncheck and check only the periods for the third quarter, press apply, and I can see how I did this year versus last year. So right here for the 3 periods, dark blue, this year, I pretty much grew pretty nicely, 13%. And these are the customers, sales prior year, this year, the variance, products in perspective, territory, the size of the bubble is sales this year. In the color is if I'm growing or declining. So black is up, red is decline. Now, maybe I want to see who grew the most. I can come to the customer, go to the variance, and click the sort icon. And right there, I can put the top growth, and these are the customers who grew the most. Maybe I care who declined the most, and what happened with them. Well, I'm going to sort again and click descending order, and these customers have the biggest decline in the third quarter last year versus this year. And maybe you have the question why? Which products drove the biggest decline? You can just pick, let's say, your top 3 customers. And when you do that, the whole dashboard changes to only show data for those 3 customers. So it was a total of almost no sales this year. So pretty much you had no sales out of these 3 customers. Last year you sold almost $1 million. So you pretty much have a total decline. And what products drove this decline? What products you're not selling to these people? Let's sort this report at the bottom. And these are the products that pretty much drove the main decline. So in a single dashboard, just by pointing and clicking, salespeople learn how to interact with their data, and they don't have to call experts. It's right here, right at the bat, easy to change. And if you have, let's say, if you click a data point right here, let's say I'm choosing this particular customer. If I'm using a web-based ERP, I could click open the customer. This will go straight into the customer table. I can click also sales details. And actually sales details will open regardless if you have a web-based application or not. But clicking sales details would show you the invoice number, the invoice date, customer information, product information, all the details associated to the sales would be available on the portal. If you also need to see underlying data, you can click on a data point, any data point in any dashboard. Right now I'm selecting the prior year. And then I click this icon, which is view data. And you go to a different page that have access to full data, meaning you can see every single transaction behind this information. All the details are here. And then you can export this to, let's say, Excel and do more manipulation if you want to. So not only DataSelf provides trend analysis that you can look at the top level at aggregation, but allows you to drill down to details and even see underlying data very quickly. Very empowering. Now, we also have this sales slicer. The sales slicer is something we just rolled out. It's an exciting new feature. We have a patent pending. And the idea of the sales slicer is a lot of business people, they are super data hungry, but they are not data geeks. And they usually don't have time to learn complex reporting tools. So many of these people, super successful, they only get PDF reports or simple reports because they just don't have the time to learn how to slice and dice their data. But if they could, boy, they could do better. So by thinking from that angle, we thought about how can we come up with something super duper simple that it takes a few minutes, 3-5 minutes of a demo, and that's a training. And that's what I'm going to do now. In the next few minutes, I'm going to get you all to learn how to use the slicer, how to be certified in slicing in a few minutes. Let me show this example. So right now, I'm looking sales by salesperson in 2 periods, period 7 and 8 in 2019. And let's say I want to change to different periods. Sure. You just select different periods, press apply. And right now, I just added 2 periods, so super simple. Maybe I want to also add more years. Press apply, and you add more years. So right now, I'm looking 2018 and 19 for periods. Okay, let's make it a little simpler and remove some of these periods. Let's only have 3 periods, a little simpler. Now, what if I want to see sales by something else, not by salesperson? I come to the slicer, click, and these fields are pre-configured out of the box, but it's easy for a consultant to customize a list to have more or less fields that are what your salespeople care. But once this list has been customized if needed, as a salesperson, you just pick and choose. If I want to see sales by state, I pick state. And right now the report becomes sales by state. Well, I want to drill down and see sales by state by salesperson. Well, I pretty much go to the second slicer and I pick the next parameter. In this case, I'm going to pick salesperson. And then I click this plus signal here to expand to the next column. And there it is, by state, by salesperson, sales in those 3 periods. Hey, I have null. What is null about? Well, in my simple database, null is multi-company transactions that salespeople don't care. How can I get it out of the way? You can use the filters on the right. I'm going to go to the state filter, which is the first column, uncheck null, and tell to apply. And there it is, null is going to be out of the way. Cool. Now, what if I want to see sales broken down by customer? I think you got the idea. You go to the next slicer, you pick the next parameter, customer, and you expand, clicking the plus signal to the next column. And now you see by state, by salesperson, by customer. If you want to see broken down by product, you got it. You just pick the next one, you choose product, expand, and there you go. It's that easy. You just pick and choose, expand, and you can drill down. And you can also change different measures. Right now I'm looking sales. What if I want to see gross profit percentage or quantity sold or all of them? You just pick and choose, you click apply, and now you get the report showing those metrics. And that's it. You've been trained in how to use DataSelf Slicer. You're certified. If you've seen this demo, you pretty much can do it. And the great news is, out of the box, we have more than 10, about 10 to 15 items pre-configured in this drop downs. So if you multiply 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times, there's about 15 options here, times the number of ways you can slice and dice and filter. There are actually more than 1 million ways you can slice or dice your data by using DataSelf Slicer. Yes, you go through a few minutes of training like you just did. Now you can create more than 1 million ways of looking at your sales data. It's that easy. It's that empowering. And this is part of DataSelf Lite as well as DataSelf Enterprise. All right, so this is one way that is super easy for anyone to slice and dice their data, but we have more ways to do that. And one of the also exciting new features available is natural language query. So some people find this the way to go. Some people actually like to write in plain English and ask questions. And I'm going to show an example. So this is the natural language framework. I'm going to type in here sales by sales, oopsie, sales by salesperson. When I type in the question, the tool will try to interpret what you're trying to ask. And it's saying, do you want to see the sum of sales by salesperson? Yes, that's what I want to see. I click on it, and then the tool will automatically show me sales by salesperson. Awesome, right? Now, in real life, it's very easy to ask a question that doesn't have enough context yet to give you the right information. Let me show this example. When I'm excited about, oh my gosh, I'm seeing sales by salesperson, I look at my home account and I see $90 million. That's not right. Oh yeah, I only want to see sales in 2019 because in my simple database, I have 2 years worth of data and I only want to see in 2019. So yeah, you got to give more context. So let's type in 2019. The tool will try to interpret and it's going to give me options, and I want to see sales where the document date, which is the invoice date, is 2019. Cool. Okay, I click that one, and now it's showing me sales for the home account, $9 million. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So I enter more details, and it gave me the right information. Great. Well, what's going on over time in 2019? Is it growing, declining? What is the monthly trend? Well, I can type in by month. And then the tool try to interpret. Do you want to see by document dates month? Absolutely. I click on it. And now the tool will show me by month in 2019, sales by salesperson. It's that easy as well. If you know how to ask questions in plain English that the computer will understand, you'll get the answer. And you can easily modify. Hey, I want to see actually as a bar chart instead. You just point and click, and now you see the same information by salesperson, by period. Super easy as well. The reality is the computer has a way to understand the questions, and we have found that some people, they have a hard time talking with computers. You know, they'll word the question in a way that the computer will not get it right. So this natural language is super exciting. For some people, it's amazing how powerful it is. But some people, they will not word the questions the way the computer understands, and it's not going to work for some people. So it's just a reality check. Do not think it's going to answer all the questions for everyone, because the computer is very limited in understanding humans. And if you don't ask the right way, the computer is going to give you an answer that might not have the right context. So we always tell people, this is amazing, very empowering, but you got to be cautious and be sure that people are asking proper questions. But if they do, it's this simple. And once you find an answer, if you want to save it to share with other people, you just click save, and you can tell where to save, in what, like it's going to be a sales report, and you call sales by rep by month. When you save it, all the sales people that would have access to the sales folder would have access to the new report. So it's also that easy to create reports from scratch using natural language. Finally, I want to show also easy ways to distribute reports. So suppose you create this report here and you want to get it emailed automatically to people, to myself. Pretty much you click the subscribe button, and as a user, I can subscribe to myself, and depending on my user rights, I can subscribe to others. So pretty much you come here and you say, hey, I'm going to send to myself, I'm going to send to Zach, and I'm going to send to whoever you want to do it. You put the people's name. You want to tell, just send this view, or if you want to send all the workbook, meaning all the tabs, you tell how often you want to send this information. You click subscribe, and then automatically the email is going to go out with a screenshot of the latest information for those people. There are ways you can customize, you can save, there's many techniques to customize the solution, save it, and then email automatically to different people. So very easy to share information with others. And if you want to download the information, you can also, like I showed before, you can click a data point and see the underlying data, or you can just download, click this download button. You can download as a screenshot. You can download into Excel. You can download to PDF. You can also download into PowerPoint. So many ways to get the data into other formats. The last thing I want to show, so I showed how I can navigate and how I can change the framework. And so far, everything that I showed uses what we call a viewer user. A viewer user is a user that typically is a user that cannot break reports and dashboards. They can only change the pre-configured reports and dashboards. But we also have explorer and creator users. In these other two user licenses, you can actually create new reports from scratch. You can actually change reports significantly. And I'm going to show an example right now of being an explorer user. So an explorer user is a user that has a lot more capabilities. So it takes usually, on average, several hours of training for an average user to become really good at building reports from scratch. So it takes more training than 5 minutes, like I just showed with the slicer. But it's amazing how powerful that is. Let me show the example. I'm going to go to my data sources. So I'm looking right now at DataSelf Enterprise. Before I was showing a bunch of things on DataSelf Lite. Now I'm back to Enterprise. And I'm going to pick one of these data sources. You know, I have AP, AR, GL, I have a lot of things. And I'm going to go to SA revenues. And I'm going to create a new workbook. By the way, you can also create new reports with the Lite version. It's the same framework. So now I'm looking at a new report for SA sales or SA revenues. I'm going to build very quickly a report showing sales by customer this period, this month. I also want to see sales by geography and how is it growing over time, in trend analysis of my sales and gross profit. So I'm going to see these three, I'm going to build these two reports and put them inside of a dashboard. Let's do it. I want to see sales by customer first. So customer is here, drag and drop to my rows. These are all my customers. I want to see sales, drag and drop to the report. This is total sales by customer in the whole company history. Who are my top customers? I can sort in a descending order. So these are my top customers. And again, I have a lot of customers in my sample database. But I want to see this period. So let's bring also invoice date to my columns. By default, it will show by year, as many years you have in the database. I can expand from year by clicking on the plus signal to go to the quarter level. I can expand quarter to go to the month level. So now I see months. So right now I see all the sales by month, all the way to this month. Well, I only want to see this month's sales. Well, I can take invoice date and put on my filters, and then I will have on the right side a filter that I can pick the beginning date and end date, any period. Or I can choose relative dates, which is usually something related to today. So right now, by default, I have today's sales. But hey, I want to see something at the month level. I'm going to pick month. So right now it's showing the whole December sales. And now if I want to change to see previous month, there it is. If I want to see the last, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you just pick and choose. Very easy to come back to this filter and choose different buckets and apply the filter. Let me go back to this month. What if I want to see, I want to break down the report by customer, by product. I just find product in this list, and I drag and drop, and now I have by customer, by product, sales this period. If I want to see reverse the order, I can just put my customer after my product, and by product, by customer. If you know how to drag and drop, you can actually do a lot of reports. It's almost unlimited possibilities. It's way more powerful than the slicer, but you need hours of training to really become proficient, while slicer takes 3 minutes. So that's the different audience. For people that are more data geek kind of people, they will love this. They go crazy with this. For people who are just data hungry and they are not data geeks, the slicer will be amazing for them, or the natural language query. Okay, that was my first report, sales by customer, by product this period. Now let me do some trend analysis. I want to see sales over time. So I just double click sales and invoice date. I see my sales growing by year. Let's see at a month level instead. So I'm going to choose month instead. And now I see sales by month in my whole company history. And I want to see what's going with my gross profit percentage. I'm going to add the gross profit percentage to my report. So the top is showing gross profit, the bottom is showing sales. And I want to see this actually on a dual axis because it's kind of, easier to see the data together. So sales are my bars, while gross profit is the line. Let me make this a little thinner. So what I can see that my gross profit was swinging a lot and lately has been flattening and slightly going down. Is that a problem or not? Something for you to check it out. But in a few clicks, I got an amazing perspective into my sales and gross profit trends by period. My last report here that I'm putting together, I want to see by ship to state. So I pick ship to state, by invoice size. So I pick those two fields. I want to see my sales. And then I want to put this on a map. And I pick the map option. In a few seconds, I build this beautiful, insightful dashboard where bigger bubbles are bigger sales. And the bubbles are sliced by large, medium, and small invoices. So just create 3 different views. And finally, I'm going to put all of this view into a dashboard that has an automatic resize, meaning if I put on any screen size on a mobile device, on a big screen, it will automatically adapt itself. And I just drag and drop. Again, if you know how to drag and drop, you can do a lot with this tool. And that's it. In about 5 minutes or so, I create this dashboard from scratch. I can click save and save the report to my salespeople, right? You just put a name to the report, you click save. Now it's part of the pre-configured reports. It's that simple and it's that amazing. And now, let's say salespeople could open this dashboard on a mobile device, let's say on a tablet, and they could use their finger to select, let's see how we're doing on the West Coast. When they select the West Coast, guess what? The whole dashboard changes. Whatever you select, it will change right on the spot. Super easy, super interactive. And again, the idea is to empower your data-hungry people to become self-sufficient, and they do not have to spend too much time to learn how to extensively slice and dice your data and find answers to the questions anytime, anywhere, without having to call the experts and wait. That's the benefit of DataSelf, empowering smart people with easy access to their data. Now, again, as I mentioned before, this framework uses a very robust technology framework. So if you're an IT person, if you're a consultant, good news. You're going to work with the best technology in the planet. You know, we use Tableau, Power BI, SQL, AWS, and Azure. They're not cheap per se. They are actually enterprise level, but we really make them really affordable. This is not going to break the bank, and you as a client, you as a consultant will be amazed by how empowering the technology platform will make your job better. If you're a consultant, it's going to make you more productive. If you're a business person, you're going to be more informed with the right decision, with more informed decisions, and hopefully make your business better. All right, to wrap up, just a few more slides. From a pricing standpoint, DataSelf Lite, we're designing to make it super affordable. It starts at $2.99 per month. As I mentioned, right now, we have only launched to Acumatica, but we are launching to all the other products that we support. So if you have Sage, Microsoft, Salesforce.com, whatever it is, stay tuned or contact us. You know, sometimes when people ask us, you know, when you're going to be launching version for XYZ, if we have a lot of those requests, we can change the priority to launch those earlier than later. So let us know if you're interested, so we can work in our priority to release them. Another thing is DataSelf Lite, even though it's a new release, it's not a new product per se, because most of it is just a subset of DataSelf Enterprise. So it's a fairly well mature developed framework that is a subset of DataSelf Enterprise. DataSelf Enterprise is almost limitless on what you can do with it. You know, bringing data sources, multi-company, multi-currency, bringing data from different data silos, from Excel, from your on-prem databases, can be AS400, it can be SQL. It doesn't matter what you have in data silos, DataSelf Enterprise can bring it together. And the price of Enterprise is not too much more than DataSelf Lite. So do not be scared with the pricing. Typically, if your company makes millions of dollars, DataSelf is not a problem of cost. Is it the right solution for you? If it is the right solution for you, the cost will be worth it. The return on investment would be great. So typically, we make DataSelf, we make BI Enterprise affordable for any mid-sized organization. Right now, we're running several year-end promos. On the Lite version, we're giving for several months free users, so you can get started with many users without paying extra. So contact us to learn about DataSelf Lite. Enterprise, we also have promos applying discounts based on the size of the deal. So contact us to discuss, and pretty much the promos will end on December 31st. What are the next steps? If you learn more, visit dataself.com. There's a lot of information on our website. Just to give you a very quick overview of where you can find information. So this is dataself.com. If you have any of these products, you click on them, you're gonna go to the product specific page that shows more details. If you scroll down on our website here, there's a bunch of articles. This section is also fairly popular. If you click on the 5,000 reports and KPIs, these are the reports and dashboards available in the enterprise. There's more than 5,000. And if you go here, you can download the full list of reports and dashboards. You can see things for the CRM, for core financials, for distribution and whatnot. And if you click the buttons, you also can see some screenshots. So a lot of information available on our website. And if you want to learn more, please contact us or your reseller. We're here to help you educate about DataSelf. We also usually know quite a bit about competing offers, so we can give our perspective of how we compare against them. We want to make the best decision, whatever the best decision is for BI, because if you engage with us, we will make you happy. I mean, we have a great platform. We provide money back guarantee. Typically, if in 60 days DataSelf didn't work out, pretty much we cut the contract in 2 months and we give the money back. Pretty much clients who engage with us, there's a 98% chance you'll stick around and you will love our framework. You'll love the way that we work. So if you do give a try with DataSelf, I almost guarantee you'll love it and you'll stick around. Having said that, I'm going to open questions and answers. So if you do have questions, please use the Zoom panel to ask your questions. There's a chat box. And we see if we have questions here. There it is. We do have questions. So the first question is from Olivia. How long does it take to deploy DataSelf? Olivia, thanks for your question. So it depends. Some systems like Acumatica, which is cloud to cloud, we can deploy literally in hours. Once we have full access to your Acumatica system through OData, typically, we tell, next day DataSelf has been deployed with your data. Other systems like X3, it can take weeks because a lot more complex to get the basics connected, security and whatnot. But overall, the out of the box is deployed on average, we say in days. Even for X3, we have clients that we deployed literally in less than a week. So the out of the box, if everything's aligned, securing all the details, we can quickly deploy it. In an additional comment about deployment, the out of the box has been designed to have value as is. So once we deploy it, maybe it's not perfect yet, maybe it's not 100% accurate yet, but I guarantee you, if you start looking at the reports and dashboards, you might find some information there, accurate to the penny, giving you critical insights into trends that maybe no one is paying attention to. So we always encourage people when they deploy DataSelf to engage some decision makers early in the process, because these people, when they look at their data through DataSelf, they quickly get inspired by possibilities that nobody was looking at before, because before it was just too hard to look at your data. So even as soon as we deploy the solution, typically there's value for decision makers. Olivia, thanks for your question. Next question from Kayla. Can your system connect live to on-premises an on-premises inventory database? Kayla, thanks for your question. So can DataSelf connect live to on-premises inventory database? The overall answer is yes, it can. Should we connect to your live database? It depends. Typically, when people ask us for live connection, it's a conversation that maybe you don't need a BI connected to your live system. You need just a report, one report. Then maybe we shouldn't do it. The point is, when you put your data in DataSelf, and DataSelf being super easy to use, it's likely that the user will press the refresh button a lot. They will press refresh all the time. And if you're connecting DataSelf live to your database and people are refreshing all the time, you might slow down your ERP or whatever your source database is. So you may not want to do that. So typically it's a conversation when people ask us for live data, why you want to do it? Should we refresh every 5 minutes instead? Should we connect live? So there are different questions that we go through you to understand your needs to better give a recommendation if we should do it live or not. But the answer is yes, we can connect to live databases. We just have to see the architecture to make that connection. And also sometimes we have to connect, instead of having our public cloud, sometimes we have to have a private cloud approach. So there's architecture discussions to decide if you really need to do that, what the options are, and how much effort is going to take to connect, and security, firewall, and all the details. But the simple answer is yes, we can. One more question before we wrap up. We're almost running out of time. More questions here. Yes, there's another question here from Phoenix. My X3 has lots of data and we're having performance issues with the current reporting platform. Can you help? Phoenix, absolutely. Not most, but it's very common for people coming to DataSelf because the competing BI and reporting products are very slow to run. Reports just take too long. And or when you run those reports in your current reporting system, it slows down your system, let's say your X3 in your case. If any of those things are happening, slowing down your ERP or reports take too long, typically we can solve. Why? We're primarily the only main BI provider in the mid-market providing real enterprise-grade technology. We use, as I mentioned, AWS, Azure, SQL Server Data Warehousing, Tableau Power BI, tools used by Fortune 2000 companies with a lot of data. And by turning the dials properly, we pretty much guarantee that all reports in DataSelf will run under 10 seconds, no matter how much data you have. And we have many clients that came from clients where reports were taking hours in competing products, and we brought it down to under 10 seconds. This is not magic. This is just enterprise technology properly used. The other thing is the way we extract data from data sources is highly optimized. So typically, we do not slow down your source databases. There are many ways we can extract data out of it. And typically by, again, turning the dials properly, we guarantee we will not slow down your data sources. So no impact or little impact on data sources, and reports will run super fast. Folks, we're running out of our time. So let's just show my last slide, which is my contact information. I really appreciate for your time today. If you have questions, comments, you have my email here, the phone number. We're here to educate you about DataSelf and a little bit about comparing with other BI offers. If you have budget to close this year for BI investment, please be sure to talk to you if you restart with DataSelf, because our promos can make it really a good incentive. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, and hopefully I'll hear from you guys. Thank you.